Hello, Zolo. This is Kevin, your friendly neighborhood broker of record. This is just going to be a very quick video to clarify some of the confusion from yesterday's webinar on the new web forms. First thing is to log into the new web forms. Simply log into the web forms that you normally log into. Then click the Switch to Web Forms link in the menu bar at the top of your screen. Once the new web forms has loaded, you are going to create a transaction kit much like you would in the current version of web forms. So in this case, we are going to click on the left-hand side of the screen, click on Create Transaction. Name the transaction kit. Typically, you're going to name it the address of the property that you are putting an offer on for clarity's sake. Next, you are going to select a template. For those of you who don't know what a template is, it is actually a predefined transaction kit. What it's going to contain will be all the forms that you require for a specific transaction. So for example, we're going to choose offer freehold. In addition, in the template, you will find your Schedule A already pre-populated with the most common clauses for this particular transaction. Again, in this case, it's an offer freehold transaction. Once you create the transaction, it's going to take you to a wizard. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the wizard because it is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, the wizard is asking you for specific property details. Once it actually loads here, you will see that it's asking you for specific property details such as closing dates, purchase price, the address, all of that information. Some of this information will be pre-populated already if you input an MLS number. I did not input an MLS number, which is why it is not pre-populated. Again, I'm not going to go into detail about this right now because it's not exactly what I want to talk about, and I think it is pretty straightforward. Once you start using this wizard combined with the templates, you're going to be able to hammer out offers in really in a couple minutes. So the thing that I actually really want to talk about today is the checklist, because I don't think it was really made clear what the purpose of the checklist is. So right now we are within our transaction kit that I just created, test 1. On the right hand side, you are going to see the checklist option. When you click on the checklist, you will be taken to the checklist. And a checklist is actually just what it sounds like. It's a checklist. You are going to see the names of all the files that are required for this specific transaction and whether these files are mandatory or not. You will see that most of them are mandatory with the exception of waivers, notice of fulfillments, amendments. Obviously, if you have a deal with waivers or a notice of fulfillment or amendment, it is a mandatory document at that point, but not all deals are going to contain these items, so that's why they're not listed as mandatory here. The purpose of the checklist is for you to actually upload each of the required files to the checklist, and that actually is going to alert our admin that you have uploaded a file, and they can go ahead and check that file and eventually process the full deal. So the way you upload a file is by clicking the Attach button, click on Drag and Drop Files, or click here to upload. We are going to upload the Working with a Realtor file. And just that simple, it has been uploaded to the checklist. So now you see, instead of the Attach button, you actually have a button that says Submitted. So again, what happens is our deals is alerted. They will review the document that you uploaded. If everything looks good, they will approve that document, and this Submitted button will turn to Approved. If you are, for example, missing an initial or a signature, they will not approve, but will send you back a note of why it is they did not approve for you to go ahead, get that missing signature and then re-upload the file. So in order to submit a full deal, you will have to attach each of the files to the specific checklist items. Once you have done that, you will select the open status at the top menu beside the name of your transaction. So right now, again, the name of the transaction that we're in is test 1. We are going to select open and change that to say closed. Please note that this is not referring to the actual close date on the document or on the offer. In this context, within Webforms, closed simply means that you have uploaded each of the checklist items, each of the files for the transaction, and it is ready to be processed by the deals department. This is going to be a much easier way of communicating with our admin for the reason that you aren't going to need to go back and forth with phone calls or emails. If there's a problem, it's going to be very clear and noted directly within the transaction kit in the checklist. If you are missing documents, you're going to know right away by looking through your checklist and seeing what's missing. The system will actually automatically alert you if you are missing documents, so that you will know what needs to be submitted in order for your deal to be processed and for you to be paid. This is overall going to be a much quicker system in order to process the deals and to get you guys paid. It is going to be really easy once you start working with it. I know it might seem a little bit confusing right now, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually going to be very easy. It's going to be much more efficient. I really just want to highlight the checklist section right now because that is such a crucial thing to understand. There are a lot more features within the new Webforms that we will go into as time goes by. There are different sections that you're going to be able to click on to break up break up large documents into the different checklist items right within Webforms. You're going to be able to send signature requests right here from Webforms if you do not already know how to do so. There's going to be a lot of features that are going to make things easier. Right now, just want to make sure everybody understands the checklist portion of the new Webforms. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or to one of your managers. We are going to have another webinar coming up at some point next week to get more into some of the details here and into Authentisign. Thanks, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I hope you have a great weekend.